Om. Gayatri Mahamantra with your back straight. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Gurur Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Shri Guruve Namaha Vyasrupena Vahayami Sthapyami Dhyayami Pujyami Tato Namaskaram Karomi. Shrimed Bhagavad Gita, chapter Vibhuti Yoga, verse number 6, Sloka 6. The name of the chapter is Vibhuti plus Yoga. A reiteration of the title is required today for a specific purpose. Vibhuti means the excellence, the properties, the features of the Almighty, the excellence of the Almighty. And yoga means an enjoyment of a limited self with the higher self. That means yoga. Each and every chapter of Shrimed Bhagavad Gita has a term, yoga, enjoined, which means that the purpose of each chapter is to enable a seeker scale upward from a limited self to the higher self. That is yoga. Excellence, to count upon excellence, to enumerate excellence, to talk about excellence, in order to attain yoga, that is from limited self to higher self. That is the purpose of this particular chapter. This chapter should not be understood as a mere service to our understanding, our intellect, in order to feed some additional information that this all are also the properties of the Almighty. No, it is not the purpose. Had it been so, the title should have confined to Vibhuti. Chapter Vibhuti. Yoga was not required. The moment yoga comes in as a suffix, it automatically translates that now it is mandation for some kind of a manifestation, some transcendence towards a higher self. But how can mere mentioning the properties, the feature, or the excellence of Almighty enable one scale towards the higher self? You're right to ask this question, very pertinent one. See, when we only talk as a service to our understanding, we confine to our words. Whereas, as a seeker, you do listen to the same words, but at the same time, you undergo a deep contemplation. Contemplation that scales heights beyond imagination. For example, let us take the same illustration of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa, that an idol made out of salt one day aspired to measure the depth of the sea. An idol made out of salt one day aspired to measure the depth of the sea, and it furthered towards the ocean. The moment it was dipped into the ocean to measure the depth of the sea, what happened? It underwent its own dissolution. The same is the purpose here. The moment you go on to measure the depth of Almighty's excellence, you go there with your understanding, with your intellect, in order to understand and absorb what all are the properties, features, excellence of the Almighty. But Similarly, like an idol made out of salt, you go on understanding and you also undergo dissolution. You become a part of oneness. You no more remain distinct. That is the purpose of Vibhuti Yoga. Here, in this particular verse, here also, through the words of Vasudeva, it's going to be mentioned here that I was even there as a source to all manifestation when the primal, the primeval, the primordial transpirations transpired. When was that? In the modern language, not exactly in the ancient Indian wisdom, but modern understanding, they say when the Big Bang started, during the movements of the Big Bang. So, whenever the entire creation unfolded, what happened at the outset? From that inexpressible, at the outset, there was a manifestation in the form of seven great seers that we term as Sapt Rishi. Then, along with them, there were four Kumar, four small young boys who were absolute in their own understanding and knowledge. Beside that was born what? Kala, time. The time was born. And the time, according to our ancient Indian understanding, whenever the creation comes into existence, right from its starting point zero up to final dissolution, Mahapralaya, it is divided into 14 different parts known as Manvantar, four intervals, four parts, Manvantar. Each Manvantar is headed, each compartment of time is headed by a chief called as its own Manu. Manu means the leader of that particular time period. Like today, our leader of the time is Vaivaswat. Vaivaswat is the leader of our time at the present. And each interval runs into millions and millions of years. Not going much astronomical about it, let's come down to the verse. The Lord in this verse conveys that I am the source to those great seven white masters, seers, Saptarishi. I am the source to those primary four Kumaras, and I am the source to that spread of time called as Kala. Me and me alone, and nothing else. Do not take anything else into consideration because it's me alone. Now, how does it help us for the purpose to transcend from a limited self towards higher self? Well, before going upon that journey, we will today have a small flight into meditation. But before going that, let's go down and observe the verse in its own exactness. What does it want to convey? The verse is here before you. Uh, it's in, here it is. Here is the verse before you. Need to bring the slide before. महर्षयः सप्तपूर्वे चत्वारः मनवः तथा मद्भावः मानसा जातः येषां लोके इमः प्रजाः. Here it conveys that the seven Maharishis, four ancient ones that are termed as four Kumaras, and Manus, the one that I mentioned a while ago, as the leaders of each compartment of the time of among the 14 in total for any particular period when a creation comes into existence and within brackets of final dissolution. It says they are all my mental becomings born out of me, and this entire world is whose creation, which means that when they come into existence they further the entire creation. It's through them that entire creation finds its existence. This is all what the verse conveys. Not much, no? No, it doesn't convey much. On the apparent part, it doesn't convey much. But there is something which is really hidden into it. What is hidden is to scale beyond the limits of this limited self towards the higher self. See, it says, Arjuna, I am the source. I was there even before this creation. I am the source. To those seven great masters who got their existence out of me, they're my mental becoming. So when they came, then the further unfolding of the entire creation in its subtle and gross form started occurring. So I was there. Now, how does it connect us? See, Lord Krishna, you are very much familiar with its appearance. The one with the peacock feather upon the crown, holding the flute, standing crossed legs, wearing an attire which is yellow pitambar. You can very well imagine Krishna when you close your eyes. Okay, let's start a small journey of very few minutes. Close your eyes, and behind your eyes, try to see the image of Lord Krishna. That beautiful face with charm, with divine charm, and a very mischievous smile, having a peacock feather upon its ordained crown, and then crossed legs and yellow garb, pitambar. Standing right there behind our eyes is Krishna. Krishna. This is what we hold Krishna as. Keep your eyes closed. This is Krishna as we perceive, connect with our own sensorial organs, and it takes us no time to just close our eyes and contemplate upon its image. Here we close our eyes and there we connect with its image. Very easy for us. This is the point on one hand. What about the other part? The other part is those rishis, Sapt rishis, which got their existence soon after the unfolding of creation transpired. And where from did it unfold? From the inexpressible Almighty, which cannot be expressed into words, something without form, without size, without time. That is the kind of eternity where from everything got born. So, on one hand of the thread, you're holding onto the image of Krishna right now connected with you, and on the other hand, you simply bypass to someone holding control upon the charge of time, that is the avyakta, the inexpressible. Krishna behind the eyes on the one hand, and Krishna, the inexpressible, holding time at the other end. So these two entities within ourselves, one, the Krishna behind eyes, other end takes rest, go on to it, inexpressible, the formless one. Both are the same, both connected. One in service to our sensorial organs, and one which is all pervasive, the the Maha, the Maha, the ultimate, the big one, the ultimate one, the Mahavataran, Parabrahma, Parabrahma, Parabrahma. One in the form of Krishna behind our eyes, so vigilant, so agile, it can easily scale up to our existence. And on the other side, on the other part, is the inexpressible, formless, which existed even before this creation, shall remain even after the final dissolution. It's beyond evolution and involution. The Avyakta Parabrahma. One hand is an idol like a human form, the other end is the inexpressible without any form. From this Brahma to that Brahma. Om Shanti, 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 Shanti. Come out of this meditation, it takes you deeper. So here you understand the purpose of this sloka. It connects the form, the one with the form, to the formless one. One within the ambit of time to the one which is timeless. One which is confined in one figure to the one which is all pervasive. This mention of Saptarishi, Kumar, and Manu is to transcend us from the one which is in form to the formless one. It is there now behind our eyes. It is also there where there is nothingness. It exists. It is there. This is the purpose of this particular verse of Shrimed Bhagavad Gita. I hope the journey today from the limited self to higher self through Keshava as it comes, appears before us, to the Keshava, which is all pervasive, it transpires well. ओम ही सत्य है, ओम ही सत्य है, ओम ही सत्य है. More to come in the next class of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita on every second and last Sunday.